as an ugly girl, people will try to invalidate my experiences, but they can't do that because I will never, ever give my power away. The reason why I embrace being ugly is because it's not bigger than me. And being able to identify the container that you're in, it allows you to move with more ease because now you have awareness. That's all it is. Me accepting that I'm ugly is nothing shy of awareness. Once you're aware of how society perceives you, you can now make an informed movement. You understand? That awareness brings informed movement. If a slave doesn't know it's a slave, how can it ever be set free, right? And I feel like by trying to rob my voice, a lot of what you are attempting to do is also what a lot of white people do when they blame black people for the circumstances that they're in. When they say, but look at how you're making it, but I'm poor too, but I'm aligned to the black experience too, which makes no sense because how can you align to an experience that you're not in? You can relate to it. Relatability and experiential are two different things. Experiencing something and relating to it is not the same thing. It's either you experience certain things or you don't. In this case, you have pretty privilege or you have ugly treatment. There's binary. It's always been binary. It's always been this or that. There's not a scale. People have you to believe it's a scale, but it isn't. It's either you have it or you don't. And this is not to say that if you're ugly, you can't achieve anything. That's the projection. That's part of the problem. That's why I keep pushing the dialogue and having layers to the discussion, because this is a layered conversation and it's going to take many skilled individuals, many skilled intellectuals to get engaged in the conversation to continue to push the dialogue. It's going to take several conversations. This is not something you're going to unpack in a day. This is truly a reparation, so it's going to take conscious conversation, discomfort, heated arguments, debates. But no one here is wrong for engaging in a dialogue. That's why I don't care if you agree with me or you disagree with me. Like, I truly do not care. I appreciate when people listen and understand because I'm a human being, but I'm having a dialogue because it's an important dialogue to have, and I'm not going to stop having a dialogue. I'm not going to stop having a conversation because this is what I am passionate about. So no one can stop me from having this conversation, and I'm going to keep telling the truth. I want to tell the truth because that is what protection is. And that's why people don't want you to know want you to tell the truth. People try to attempt to silence the truth because they know the power that the truth has, because no one can go against truth. Your truth is your truth. No one can go against your truth. No one can go against your beliefs. And that's why I don't argue with people for their beliefs. If you are committed to misunderstanding me, that's your prerogative. That has nothing to do with me. I will continue to intend the message for those who is meant to receive it, because that's all that matters. You do not get to cap my influence. You can't give me my power, so you can't take it away. And I'm going to continue to comment on the subject. And a lot of people are like, oh, but she's contradicting herself. Society contradicts itself every single day. Quite literally. It's really about what you're aware of. And it's always been about awareness. And that is the cause. The cause is to bring awareness. Are you pushing the conversation forward or not? Are you bringing more awareness to it or not?
You guys have to see how men treat women that they don't find conventionally attractive in person in real time. It's actually so disgusting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's horrible. Me and my friend actually used to be a part of a brigade where we'd go around disrespecting people we didn't find conventionally attractive. Now, keep in mind, I said people and not women, okay? We were not misogynists. We were not judging people based on their gender and their attractiveness. We were judging them based off their attractiveness alone. It was all fun and games, though. We just do little things like we're walking downtown, then we see unattractive people having a conversation. We walk past them, we're like, yo, shut up. And we just keep walking. Now, mind you, we're all very large African-American males. No one's going to fight us. However, we probably did create a few racists. We'd be at the function, we'd see someone, we'd be like, yo, like, look over there, like, ew, like, what? Like, what do you think their parents look like? Or if we're hanging out in public and an unattractive person walked up and tried talking to us, we literally, like, listen to the person talking and then look at each other like, nothing extremely harmful, but, like, yeah, it's kind of mean in the grand scheme of things. At first, when we first started doing those things, my heart wasn't really in it. I was just doing it to keep up appearances. But now I'm like, oh, now I like disrespecting these people. You know why? Because it makes me feel better about the disrespect I receive, okay? You got to pay it forward. One day, my friend, who was my bestie, by the way, literally quit on me. Our other friend is having a kickback, right? So we're chilling at their place, and this unattractive young individual comes in and basically starts talking to us. And then I look at him and I'm like, get a load of this. And this dude pulls me aside and he's like, yo, I actually know them personally and they're really nice. So chill or we're actually gonna have to fight here. I was like, what? What do you mean, bro? When do we care about personalities, okay? We've made it clear from the jump what our values are. Like, Bryce, but I know them. I was like, don't tell me you've gone soft, okay? Are you team Uggo? He's like, nah, bro, for real, chill. And he walked up to me a little bit. And mind you, this man is 315 pounds of pure muscle. He's like 6'4". So I was like, haha, okay, my bad, I gotcha. Then when he walked away, I was like, but anyway, so the rest of the kickback, I had to go around respecting that unattractive person. It's like, oh, you know how painful that is for me? It hurt.
Y'all may boo me for this, but I am okay with that. I think the reason I'm particularly perturbed by the staggering amount of women getting elective plastic surgery at such a young age is because we live in a society that props up ugly men and tells them that they are so valuable and so attractive, and we have been socialized to tell ourselves that we're attracted to them or to see, the redeeming qualities in them. And let's be very clear, I don't subscribe to the Eurocentric conventional standards of beauty any fucking ways. And we know that women don't get a modicum of that grace. Those rules don't apply to us. So I think at this point, it's I think that women should embrace being ugly for spite. I don't care. I don't exist to be pleasing to your eyes. I mean, who are you? I think that's what I'm waiting for women to see. It's consider the source. Consider the source. Even if you're not getting surgery to directly be more attractive to men, we are all socialized under a patriarchal society and mindset. So at the end of the day, we are still in some way basing how we're treated by how men see us, and how much access and status and how beautiful we are by how men see us. So when a man calls me ugly, sometimes it makes me happy. Sometimes it makes me happy, because fuck you. Good. I hope that I'm ugly to you. Good. I hope it displeases you to see me. Also, it's I grew up with a very dark-skinned mother who told me I grew up in the 80s, colorism was rampant and bold, and she told me when people would bully her and men would say that she was ugly and they didn't like her because of her skin and this and that, she never internalized it. To her, she just felt okay, well, you have bad taste. You don't like me? Okay, well, something's wrong with you. Bring that back. Bring that back, because it says something that in 2025, when we are on recession indicator number 506,054, that y'all are finding the money for ethnic rhinoplasties. You need to turn the mirror on these gremlins. It's out of control.
As an ugly girl, one of the main things that keep coming up as a theme on here on TikTok is people saying, oh, well, who's telling you that you're ugly? Society has been telling us that we're ugly, and it tells you with the reality that you are in. And people will say, oh, but if you're in a certain reality, it's because you're telling yourself that. That's true, but why? Why are people who are ugly telling themselves they're ugly? Because everybody else is reverberating that to them with their treatment. When anyone shows up in the space of pretty privilege, which there is an abundance of content, so why would you just go over there and support that content if that's what you're interested in? Because the content that I'm talking about is ugly treatment. However, society chooses to not look at itself and look through the lens, because society likes to pretend that it has morality, where we all know it's not about morality. There is no morality in society whatsoever. There's only pretended to be morality. That's going to look like gestures. That's going to look like politics. That's going to look like people being nice. We've all seen people be nice, nasty before. We've all seen people say the appropriate thing, because a lot of society is very automatic. And when we're getting into cognitive behavior and group behavior, we understand that this is automatic. If I sneeze, y'all going to say, God bless you. If I say, how are you doing, which is a question, a lot of y'all are going to say, how are you doing? And respond back, because a lot of society is automatic. And a lot of us are not even aware of the behaviors and the treatment that we give to each other in this context, because it is so automatic. So we don't spend that much time examining it, hold the mirror up. But when you hold the mirror up, Now you want to be fake horrified because you don't find the image flattering. Ain't that crazy? Like, don't y'all think that's interesting? I think so too.
This is what stood out the most to me with the Layla Ali mini documentary clapback that she gave for Clarissa Shields. Honey, Clarissa Shields looks like her uncle, granddaddy, father, nephew. I don't even know. She looked like Papoose. She looked like Celie from The Color Purple. She looked like all my life I indeed had to fight. She is giving that. She is giving that. She looked like everything she been through. I totally understand why she a hater. It makes sense now. I get it. Like, I'm like, she's a decent looking girl. Like, why is she so, yeah, okay, yeah. She still looks like this in her own mind. And she still feels like that on the inside. That's why she's so nasty. The things that she has said about Layla Ali, I want to, like, oh my God. She looked like the Loch Ness Monster. Like, she is really crazy looking and scary as F. Like, I understand now. She had to learn how to fight. Damn Barracuda. She just sloppy. I've already said this before. I think Clarissa Shields is just corny. I actually thought everybody involved was corny. But Clarissa Shields' whole disposition, like the way she presents herself to the world, is just sloppy. She can wear the most designer in the world and still look like this. Just a mess. Like, real monsters. She is smacked. I can't believe it. And then the way she kept on talking about how pretty, Layla Ali, pretty self, da da da. Like, you are a hater. Oh my God. Honestly, after that documentary, we can go ahead and wrap her right on up. I don't even want to hear nothing about her ever again. I did not know that girl was nasty like that. I didn't know she was like so nasty and so rude. I didn't know. But now, in a way, this girl was talking about Layla Ali as if Layla Ali paid her dust her entire career, and Layla Ali has done so much for this girl that she could create a whole documentary. Is it mental illness? She might have gotten knocked upside the head one time too many. That is a possibility.
As an ugly girl, I do have to take accountability. And one of the things that has been coming up on my mind is I knew when I was being mistreated, but I can blame society all I want. The number one culprit had been me before I opened my eyes to what was actually happening and allowing myself to perceive it and feel it. And one of the things that had to happen is I had to go into isolation because I had so many people lying to me, like looking at me in the eyes, knowing damn well I'm fat, knowing damn well I'm way outside the beauty norms, knowing damn well that they've seen me through this lens, and allowed the behavior of me being ugly and allowing like the feeling that they had about me, that pity, to impact their honesty with me. You feel what I'm saying? So I had to go into isolation and unlearn and unhear every compliment, everything that people, every consolation compliment. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Everything, and how I responded to it when I knew what the truth was. Because I deluded myself, because I was not always ready to sit with being ugly. That's why I can't stand when people be in the comments like, who taught you this? Who told you this? A lot of things taught me this. It took a lot for me to get here to this position where I can admit to myself, I have received a lot of ugly treatment over the years of my life, and I have actually closed my eyes to it. There were fake friends who were around me, humiliated me. I closed my eyes to it. There were men and women that I allowed to take advantage of me when we were dating, and I closed my eyes to it. I closed my eyes to it because I was scared. That's why I accepted it. And I feel like that's what people really want to know. If you're ugly, if you know all of this, why were you accepting it? Because I was scared. I was scared that if I didn't take what was being offered to me, that I might not get nothing. Okay? That's the truth. I was scared that if I didn't accept what was being offered to me, even though in my heart of hearts, I knew that what I was getting was not enough and unfair, and I still accepted it because I was scared. I was scared that if I declined the treatment that people were offering me, even though it was less than what I wanted, I was scared that nothing might not come. What if I don't get nothing? What if I don't get anything? What if I miss out? Yes, it was a fear of missing out. That's why I put up with a lot of treatment and a lot of things that I dealt with. But now that I'm aware of it, that's why I will never let anybody ever silence me again. I will never let anybody mute the experience that I have in living in ugly treatment. This is not about whether or not you think I'm ugly or not. This is about me accepting the treatment that I was groomed to accept because of my looks. So anybody who wants to continue to be, and I'm getting y'all out of here because this is about me now. And if you don't want to watch, you don't have to. It's always actually been about me. But now I'm just making it very clear and obvious. This is my healing journey. The Black women that are discussing being unattractive and expressing a lot of hopelessness around their looks, they are being black-pilled. And if you listen to quite a few of them, they are usually saying that they are missing out on certain life experiences, they're missing out on friendships and relationships. That is called social invisibility, and that is one of the first symptoms of like being black-pilled. Social invisibility is kind of like a catch-22. Social invisibility can cause you to lose confidence, or sometimes you're socially invisible because you simply lack the confidence. That sometimes black women are socially invisible? Yes. Do I think that being unattractive can make you even more socially invisible? Yes, it can cause barriers to promotions, getting credit for your work, and even like job opportunities and money, and of course, obviously, attention. It's key whenever black women come online and they share their experiences, instead of people rushing to tell them that they are so attractive and that they're so pretty, you need to validate those feelings, and then you need to blame the system that put those very injustices in. You need to continue by having meaningful discussions surrounding the systems that allow these injustices to take place, because I'm noticing a lot of the quote-unquote unattractive black women are dark-skinned black women with Afrocentric features. Texturism and colorism is definitely at play here, and you comparing yourself to these women and saying that, oh, she looks like me, that's not helping them. Unfortunately, it could be a host of reasons. They're probably living in a community that's predominantly white, or they might go to a PWI, or they're not seeing themselves represented in the related media in their community, or sometimes their TikTok algorithm is so bad and so messed up that they're not seeing faces that look like theirs. So of course they're gonna feel like they are unattractive. So yeah, do not be patronizing and calling them beautiful. Just validate their feelings, and then have a meaningful discussion about how this system needs to change, and that's about it. And then if they're in a position to accept it, offer some kind of mental health services, because the black pill pipeline is very strong, and what this should prove to you is that literally anybody is susceptible.
I've seen a video of this girl talking about, have you seen how women who are ugly are treated? And then some girl brought up, she was like, if Queso was a girl, he wouldn't have gotten far. And if Queso was a girl, they would have treated him differently. Do you know the shit they were saying about Queso? He was getting bullied on a daily basis. And then they said, why are dad bods glorified but mom bods aren't? Do you know who glorifies dad bods? Women! What the fuck? Dude, I wouldn't give a fuck. Bro, y'all do know men love chubby women, right? I'm not talking about younger 16, 15-year-old boys. I'm talking about men. They do love women with meat on them. Look at America. Look at how many big women there are down here, like women with meat on their bones. America isn't that type of country. It's not like one of those Asian countries where all the women are just slimmed down. No, bro. And the fact that you're saying if a woman was built like queso, she wouldn't have gone far, you don't believe in women your damn self. And why would you think like that? Because America has majority bigger women. And you're just talking shit about it's like it lacks, I don't know, I guess drive. I wouldn't even know what to call that. Like, you feel like, what you think, you just need a BBL and face implants to look better nowadays? I don't get it. When men say they love natural women, they mean that shit. But women be like, oh, but why is he liking this girl's post on Instagram? Majority of those girls, they don't fucking want them. Who wants a girl with a BBL? It's like a rental. It looks good for the moment. Nobody's actually trying to take that shit home. I heard they stink anyways. Yuck.
Y'all ever notice how that less attractive woman seems to always have to use her money to convince people that she's of value because her looks ain't doing it? And then you see a beautiful woman, she can have money, but it doesn't matter that she has money because then she becomes too intimidating because she's beautiful with money. It seems like everybody wants to be beautiful with money, but then there's problems on both sides. A too beautiful, too independent woman is too much of a threat. She ends up being isolated from other women and by men. And then an unattractive woman, she tends to be just unattractive, not getting as many options unless she opts into surgery. And still, there's no guarantee that the surgeries are going to give her the look that she actually wants. We see that happen a lot with the BBLs. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? But I tend to see a lot more of these less attractive women come on here and try and boast how much money they have constantly. That's so pick-me behavior. If you constantly feel like the only claim to fame that you have is your money. And I'm sure we all know some women like this that you know is just really not all that, but comes around like she is. And you're just looking at her like, okay, like we're glad for you and you're success or whatever, no shade, but it's like every time some of these women tend to always have to use their money to get a man's attention because they do not have the looks. Their face card is not eating down. And once they get a certain amount of money, they will go out here and try to become beautiful in order to try and attract men and keep the man. So now they can be the golden egg, beautiful with money, not even realizing that they're going to put themselves more than likely just right into isolation because now you're beautiful and you have money. And a lot of beautiful women, they are not as happy as y'all think. They're really isolated because women be hating and dudes, they are intimidated.